Hello, everybody. Welcome to Align to Serve. This is our very first teaching class, and I couldn't be more excited. I have been feeling such a buzz of energy since I was putting together all of the teachings. I've been taking what Vanessa showed me 3 years ago, but I've also been building on that content further based on what I know about working with a brand, working with our voice, connecting with our soulmate clients, and aligning all of these parts of who we are to create a compelling brand message and story that really draws in the people that are meant to work with you. I have to say, I don't know if I've ever been so excited to teach something. It's because these teachings really are things that can change your life. They're going to change your life because you can shift yourself into being able to really clearly communicate what your message is, what your teachings are, what you have to offer to the world. So you're going to shift your being really quickly and be able to actually start building the foundations of a strong and thriving business. And it's also going to change the life of others because they're going to be able to find you. They're going to be able to see you and be like, that's my person. I know they can help me. So these are probably some of the most life-changing teachings that I've ever shared because what I like to do is about maximum impact. So I hope that what I share with you today is going to change your life and change the life of those who you serve. And know that Align to Serve, of course, is an ongoing process. I chose to create this container in a way where we go step by step. So what you learn this week, we're going to build on it next week with more teachings around copy, content creation, and how to pull all these pieces together. But today we're first going to start with you, with your story, the soul of your story, the truth of who you are, and you're going to discover so many gifts and strengths that you have to share. I want to say a special welcome to those who are just joining us. There's a few of you who just signed up. Make sure that you go back to the portal, that you watch the opening ceremony, and you also do the intake form. For everybody who has filled out your intake forms, but if you haven't seen comments on it yet, don't worry, I will be getting to those in the next few days. I'm wanting to make sure that I connect in with each person individually with what your dreams are, what your visions are, what your challenges are, so that I can support you really well through this container. I'm so excited because we have an intimate container where both through these teaching calls and the bi-weekly office hours, I'm going to be able to connect personally with you and support you in this way. And today I'm going to go through some really potent and powerful teachings. And at the end, there will be a Q&A. So you can ask whatever questions you have, and I'll continue to teach based on what you ask. Couple quick things. Actually, I'm going to bring up the slides and that will prompt me on what else I need to share with you, as I do have a few announcements. Just give me one quick moment to make sure I have the right page. Here we are. Aha. Okay. So I'm going to bring this up and just make sure that I have all the info for you. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. I need you. Here we are. All right. You see that? Okay. So here we are at week 1 of teachings. Last week was our first official week, the opening ceremony. You can go back, feel the energy, allow us to set the container. And in week 1, I really described to you there how to get the absolute most out of Align to Serve. So I encourage you to check that out if you need to go back and catch the replay. A few announcements. So dates are now scheduled till the end of June. You're going to get a calendar in the portal that you can add to your calendar as well. So we've actually figured out a function so you can hit add to my calendar and it should show up. If you're on iCal or a Google Calendar, you should see all the classes show up there. There are a few that will be subject to change based on I've locked in dates, but there might be a couple that I need to adjust slightly based on my travel. But I have locked in with all of our guest teachers all the way till the end of June, so you can plan ahead. As I said before, if you can't attend a class live, my recommendation is you actually slot in your calendar when you're going to watch the replay. Try to do it within 24 hours if you can, so that you can feel like you're in that energy and you're able to move forward with us as we go through the teachings. So remember as well that this isn't meant to be overwhelming. I'm here to take you step by step through the process. And your job really is to stay engaged, stay part of the community, stay in this place of understanding that there's possibility to come and ask questions if you're stuck at any time. Speaking of asking questions, our first office hours is this Tuesday with me. So you can come and join me live at 1 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. If you can't come live, then there will be a replay, of course, and you can even send in your questions in advance if you have them, and I'll answer them live on the call. But I encourage you to show up if you can and be part of that. Also want to let you know that we have locked in our guest experts for phase 1 and even into the beginning of phase 2. Sasha Bryce is our EFT practitioner. She's taking you through some tapping, some clearing, and she's going to be doing a class on April 25th. Based on what I was seeing in the intake forms, I actually moved her teaching up just a little bit because I noticed that there was some stuff that people need to clear and around limiting beliefs, around not being sure what you have to offer, wondering if your story is really something that you should be telling the world. So she is going to help us with clearing some of those blockages earlier on. So I moved her to April 25th. She's also doing another class on June 13th, which is really going to be about showing up, shining bright. And she is also gifting us an inner authority EFT class that she did earlier today. It's a class that she is charging for the replay, but I asked her and she was kind enough to give it to us as a gift. So after this, I will be sending you a link with the code to get the Inner Authority EFT tapping for free from Sasha. And I know that she would love to share that with you. That's a way, if you're wanting to, if you feel any sort of blocks inside yourself around your confidence, to be able to guide clients, but also to make your own decisions about your life, to like confidently move forward on your path. That will be an amazing class to go through the process with Sasha. We have Kelsey coming in for copywriting May 2nd, May 23rd, June 20th. All of the things she is teaching is going to dovetail off what I teach you. So basically, I'm going to be teaching you frameworks, clear structures for creating compelling content, copy, building your brand, voice, and all of that. And then Kelsey's going to come in and kind of show you from a copywriting expert angle what that looks like in terms of finding your voice. How do you write to your soulmate client? Because although I'm teaching pillars, each one of you is going to be unique in the way you communicate it. She's also going to be there for office hours, meaning you can go in and you can share with Kelsey what you're building, what you're working on, and she will be there to guide you. This is amazing. And when I worked with Kelsey 3 years ago, this was one of the things that really changed how I wrote and connected with my clients. And then Vanessa is coming in. She's doing the May 30th class. That's when I'll be on retreat in Tuscany. And we'll be at the Tuscan Dreams retreat. And Vanessa will be kicking off our second phase of Source. Phase 2, where we're talking about connecting in with Source, the soul marketing aspects, and channeling through the creations and programs that are going to support your soulmate client and be some of the greatest gifts that you're able to give to the world. So Vanessa will be kicking off that phase on that date. Times and dates will be sent out along with a calendar that you can add. Now, we are also going to be adding in the community aspect. You will get an email shortly with an invitation into our online community circle. This is a place to engage, introduce yourself, share a bit about who you are, ask questions, participate, and celebrate. Celebrate your wins, celebrate each other. The more we feel like we are journeying together as a community, the more you'll be able to remember that you're not alone, and the more committed you will be to this path. This is a live container. And the intention is that we are understanding that our path, we walk alongside each other all the way. I'm here to support you, but so is your community. And our Copper Lighthouse team is going to be a big part of that. Sabrina and Ashley are going to be in the community portal 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. We'll have someone from our team in there connecting with you. So if you have questions, whatever it might be, and I'll be popping in as well, of course. Couple new additions. Vanessa's meditation from the Sacred Business Alchemy will be uploaded to your materials as well. And also the replay of that class that Vanessa and I did, because that was really powerful. So I will be adding those. You're also going to see the bonus meditations around your higher vision, your mindset, and I'm going to be adding more as the course goes on as well. For some of you, if you don't already have some sort of practice or some sort of way of connecting with yourself or connecting with the universe or the higher consciousness, these meditations might be especially helpful for you to commit to some sort of practice where you are bringing yourself into stillness, working with your breath, and allowing yourself to connect in and release anything that doesn't serve. Of course, Sasha's EFT tapping is really going to help with that as well. But my encouragement to you, which is something I didn't say last week in the opening ceremony, is another way to get the absolute most out of Align to Serve is to reflect on what practices have been most supportive to you previously and what practices would be supportive to you right now. So if you are someone who likes to meditate, see if you can really commit to your meditation practice over the next 6 months. If you're someone who knows that getting a really good sleep matters to you, commit to that to be able to get the rest that you need. We're looking at both ways to release and clear blockages. And we're also looking at how to build and hold energy. So we don't want to be drained. We want to feel vitality, energy, and connection with ourselves, with source, and with the clients that we serve. So do think about what those things might be that you can do to support yourself along the way. If you haven't filled out the intake form, please do, and know that you'll be getting feedback from me very soon. And today I'm going to be giving you access to the Soulmate Client Worksheet. This is going to be a worksheet that we just created as a Google Doc. The reason I did it as a Google Doc instead of some fancy Canva thing is so you can literally just make a copy of that document and then write in it. Write notes, write as much as you want, as little as you want, and like kind of take it apart based on what you need. So we're going to be giving you the link to that worksheet for you to fill it out directly. As I said last week, it's helpful to have a document or a folder, maybe on Google Drive or whatever email server you use, and keep all your files in there so you can type and fill it in. All right, so today we are talking about the soul of your story. This is content creation, learning how to connect more deeply to your transformation and share it effortlessly. Everything we do right here is going to be the basis of content that you share. It's going to be about building awareness of your brand. We're going to talk a bit about what that means, what your brand is in a moment. And ultimately, this is going to be what draws people to you and shows them that they want to work with you because you have what it is that they are looking for. But the first place that we always start is with connection, connection to self, connection to source. So I'm just going to invite us here to take a few breaths. If you like, you can place your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your lower abdomen. Just taking a breath here. And connecting in again to your vision, your service, to something that you're grateful for. And in this place, I'm going to offer a Tao blessing or energetic transmission for us to connect into the soul of our story. Dear Tao, dear Source, dear Divine, to all of our Heavens team, spiritual mothers and fathers, angels, archangels, all of our guides, well ancestors, all those that guide us and support us along the way in spirit and truth. We love you, we honor you, we deeply respect and appreciate you. To the soul of Copper Lighthouse, and also with gratitude to Vanessa, her soul, her business, and where many of these teachings have come from. I ask that you would bring a blessing to each and every person here as appropriate, in alignment for them to connect in with their truth, with the soul of their story and their message. Taking a deep breath in and exhale out. One more breath. How. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. So, what I feel to share with you before we get into content and brand and message and all of that is to remember that your story matters. Your story is important. It is your story. It is your path that has brought you to where you are now. It's your path that has inspired you to want to serve others. And it is this path as well that is bringing with you the wisdom, the teachings, and the transformation that you hold that you can bring someone else through. So, the soul of your story, and when we start talking about things like brand and marketing and stuff, remember that what we're really talking about is alignment with your truth, your connection, and your service. So, what we're doing here, it's all about you, but that's because it's actually all about them, those that you serve. You are connecting in with your story, your message to be of service. So we start with the self, we start with you to help you have that clarity of who you are, what your gifts are, who you serve, what matters to you. But ultimately, it's to reflect back to the client, the person you are calling in who is meant to work with you, that you see them, that you know them, that you understand them. Because quite often that mirroring is where they have that trust that this person has what I need, and I'm so excited to work with them. So as I take you through this process, remember your story matters. Now, there's some of you that have been doing exercises like this before. You've done branding, you've done, understanding of like, how do I connect with my clients? So the wisdom that you hold is already there, but we're going to dial it in even more. So the value of this is really getting into the core of the soul of your story. So we start with the phase one pillar of self. We're connecting in with source and into service. But when we begin here, again, all of these are connected. And that's why I always like to start us with a couple of breaths with connection with source, connection with who we truly are. All right, so I'm going to get rolling. We're going to go fairly quickly through this content so that you have everything that you need. And then we'll have questions at the end as well. So the first thing is the soul of your story is your brand message. This is actually how you communicate who you are to your clients. But it's worth us talking about what is a brand, because this is a word that gets thrown around a lot. People talk about, well, I need a better personal brand, or I need to brand my business. And a lot of people think of branding as logo or website or colors or like the types of quotes they share. But a brand, those are brand expressions. A brand itself is the sum of how a business is perceived by those who experience it. And branding is the process of shaping these perceptions. So this is how a business is perceived, how people see you when they're looking through the window of like, who are you? What is your business? The brand is how you are perceived by the people from the outside. And when we do branding exercises, what we're doing is we're shaping the perception. So that's why it's so important that we align with what matters to you, so that the brand and the expression that you're bringing to the world is reflective of the type of client that you want to bring in and the offerings that you have to share. A brand is what differentiates one's business, product, or service from someone else's. A brand is making your mark. Okay. So there's a lot of people out there that are probably doing similar things to you. If you are a Reiki practitioner, there's a lot of Reiki practitioners. If you are a personal trainer, if you are a breathwork practitioner, if you are an intuitive channel or coach or whatever, there's a lot of others doing what you do. The brand is what differentiates you from another person, so that the people who are watching are able to be like, you know what, I think that's my guy. I think I need to work with them. There's something about them. Sometimes there's je ne sais quoi of like, there's something that's drawing me in here. And a brand is effectively making your mark. So if you think of the word branding, it's like, you think of cattle being branded. That's so that the mark would show, oh yeah, I know who that person is. Oh, that cow belongs to Audra. When you have a strong brand, you've made a mark so that you are recognizable. even beyond your face, meaning that people recognize your energetic signature. They recognize the way that you speak. They recognize the essence of you. And when we bring all of these things together, we create a very strong brand message, a strong brand voice. Once you have those things, your website and all of these things can reflect your brand, but the soul of your story is the essence and where it begins, and you can't skip this step. A brand is the consistent and recognizable feelings, associations, and connections people have with you. This is about building relationship with them. So they're going to feel things when they read your stories. They're going to have a connection like, oh, she understands me, or oh, that makes sense. Like, or maybe that's what I need to do to bring a change in my life. And you're building a conversation that becomes a relationship that for some will become a connection where they want to buy from you. So that is what your branding is, and that's the power of your story. And brands are essentially intangible. It's a sum of all the parts, but it's the most valuable thing that a business has, your brand. And when you kind of start to understand the core of where it comes, that's where you can really dial it in. So we're going to create your brand message. That's where we're going to start. It's super exciting. Things to remember with this. A powerful brand message allows others to be seen. Just like I said, this isn't ultimately about you. You are sharing your story, your message, your method, your gifts, but you're sharing it so they can see themselves reflected in you. The sharing of your story invites them to see that the transformation you have or that you speak of is possible for them. It also positions you as the expert. Now, I don't mean you need to be the expert, like the top coach in this area or whatever it is, but you are the expert of the journey that you have gone through and that they are going through. So when we start talking soulmate client, you're going to see where the match exists. But you are an expert of your own life, right? And that's why connecting with the soul of your story, you're going to realize that there's expertise that exists inside of you that maybe you haven't even shared with anyone yet. And when you start sharing those little nuggets, people are like, who's this person? I need to know more. And this is where a powerful brand includes intimacy, relevancy, and transparency. So the intimacy is about building connection. This is where I shared an email yesterday, I think most of you saw it, that talked about social media isn't real. There's a trend going around right now where people are doing carousel posts and sharing really vulnerable things, which I'm totally for. I think it's amazing because it's building authenticity, it's sharing in an authentic way and building intimacy. And there's a power to that, but there's other aspects of what needs to be shared. You can't just be vulnerable and open your heart and then wonder why people don't buy your product. There are a whole bunch of different pillars I'm going to teach you today where you'll see how all of those parts together come together to bring both authority and intimacy, the relevancy and transparency. So relevancy means that it needs to be relevant to what you're talking about. There's a few things here where, for example, vulnerable shares. If you have a specific area that you work on with your clients and you're sharing something that's way outside of the scope of what you do, it's not really relevant. It's relevant in showing that you're a human. It's relevant in showing part of your aspect, but like bringing it to a relevant aspect of what you do and why it matters to them now is a way that you can really focus in the message. And it also includes transparency. I find that true transparency in a brand or like the way that we can do these things is to create connection, showing that, hey, I'm going to share with you like what I actually do. There's some coaches and people who teach out there, and there was kind of this vibe for a long time about not telling anyone how you do it. It's just like, I'm very magical and mysterious, and you have to pay me thousands of dollars before you even understand why. And like that can work as a brand, but the transparency of like, hey, this is what I do. This is what makes me an expert. Here is my method. It actually builds more trust with people as well. So the soul of your story, we're going to take a compassionate look at your journey and shift your mindset, to a deep sense of clarity on your service, your story, your message, and the power of your transformation. So you're going to look at your journey from this compassionate space, but you're going to be really wanting to dial in to get the clarity of why you're here. Why are you here in this program? How are you going to serve? What is your story? What is your message? So we're going to come into this place and understand that your story becomes a vehicle for everything else that you do. It is part of the content that you create and share. I'm going to be giving you a list of questions in that worksheet, and I'm going to go through them here. This is going to be used to create an inspiring message, one that will express itself through your offerings to the world. So what we're doing now, you don't have to write a bunch of copy right now. I'm just getting you to ask questions of yourself, and I'm getting you to dial in more of who you are, what you do, and what the soul of your story is. But all of this that we do this week is going to form the basis of everything else, of the copy that you write, all of the content, if you go live on video, and also the offers you create. This is kind of the foundational place of where we begin. And this will, in turn, open the potential for an abundant and thriving business because you're creating the foundations of the soul of your story now. So that way, when you create an offer, it's in alignment with that. When you connect in with your soulmate client, it's in alignment with that. And that alignment and that strategy is what creates the foundations for a thriving business and actually building that abundance. This vital information we're going through will activate your brand. This is going to activate you, not just in terms of the questions, but I believe there's an energetic activation that happens because you're willing to ask these questions and to find the power of the answers that are within you. This will connect you to the souls that are waiting for you to show up. This is the thing that breaks my heart the most about people that I know may have felt, I honor sovereignty. The people who choose to be here, I want to say thank you for choosing you. Thank you for being here. There's some people that haven't chosen to be here in a line to serve. And it's hard for me because I see what they're doing. I see the gifts they hold. I see the magic of what they're sharing. But they're not able to connect with the souls who are waiting for them because they don't know these methods. They don't understand yet how to actually effectively communicate who they are, what they do, how they serve. So this is what's going to really make the difference for you, and it's what's going to make the difference for them. These are the transformational teachings that can change your life and change the lives of your clients. Oops. The last part here. So abundance and impact love clarity. And what I mean by this is if you're really wanting to create abundance and if you're really wanting to have maximum impact, take the time to get clear. Take the time and put forth the energy to really answer these questions. And wherever you're feeling blocks around these questions, sit with them, dig into them, use the EFT tapping to clear them. This is important stuff. Don't skip this part. Make sure that it really is something that you work on. And if you have challenges, we have community to support you. But really, my intention is to make this easy for you. That's why we're doing it like this. It's not going to be hard. And like my guides say, it's not so difficult. It's not so hard. We can do this. So even right now, I just want you to be like, I can do this. Even you could say it out loud. You can put your arms up. You can be like, I got this. Because the confidence of you saying, I got this, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, is the energy with which you want to write this stuff. Not the I don't know. I believe in you. You need to believe in you too, even if you feel like you're faking it at first. Because the first time when I first started doing this work, people talk about imposter syndrome. We all have that. And there was actually a real source junkie made from our live the other day where somebody said, how do you get over imposter syndrome? I said, the faster you can figure out that this is all just a game, the sooner your imposter syndrome doesn't matter. We're all playing a game and you are here to be able to share your gifts. And we don't have time to waste, my friends. Don't waste time on playing small. Don't waste time on the limiting beliefs and ideas that have kept you stuck for so long. You are here to change your life and change the lives of your clients. And I believe that you can do that. And I believe that's why your soul chose to be here. Did you know that